I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, but there's a temporary hold on your account due to unexpected security measures. We can't process any transactions at this moment. That's what she said, cool and mechanical, as if I'd just demanded something absurd instead of access to my own money. I stood there, 78 years old, hands pressed hard against the counter, trying to wrap my head around how a man who served this country for decades could be told to wait in line when his wife's struggling to breathe without her prescription. See, my pension had landed in the account that morning, same as always, first Tuesday of the month. I checked before heading out. Every cent was there. That money was for Linda's meds, new inhalers, stronger ones, after a rough night. Her lungs were battling harder than usual. The specialist said the new medication couldn't wait. It wasn't anything extravagant, just $400. The same amount I withdrew monthly for essentials, especially with the climbing copays. I'd been with Liberty Trust Bank for longer than most of their staff had been alive. Never bounced a check, never late on a payment. I used to know half the old crew by name. I'd even bring them cookies during the holidays when Linda was still healthy enough to bake. But today, I didn't recognize the young guy behind the counter. His name tag read Ethan. He looked fresh out of school, maybe still in it, wearing that uniform like it gave him some kind of authority. I handed him my card and withdrawal slip, same as always. Right away, I could tell something was wrong. He kept typing, backspacing, frowning. Then he said it. There's a hold. A hold. I repeated, like saying it again might make it clearer. It didn't. Not when Linda needed those meds by evening. System generated, sir, he added, like that was supposed to make it okay. For your protection. Let me pause here. Do you know what it feels like to be told the money you earned through sweat, dust, and war zones is being protected from you? That you can't touch it, not even to keep your wife breathing? I asked if he could call someone. He handed me a pamphlet. A damn pamphlet with an 800 number and a cartoon banker grinning on the cover. No override. No manager. Just policy. Wait 24 to 48 business hours. Business hours. Like Linda's lungs ran on a banker's clock. I sat down on a bench in the lobby, feeling small. Smaller than I'd ever felt in the worst corners of the world, and I've seen my share of deserts, mountains, and chaos. But this was a new kind of enemy, one with glossy brochures and no exceptions. I looked at the phone in my pocket and remembered something I hadn't thought about in years. Back in the day, I worked on a special assignmented joint task force with civilian agencies, disaster drills, financial systems, all that red tape nonsense. I made a contact, Robert Caldwell. We served together for a month, maybe less. When we parted ways, he said, only call this number if it's a real mess, Thompson. A real failure, hurting real people. This felt like one. I found his name in my contacts, still labeled Corp HQ, Omega Priority. I hit dial. One ring. Thompson, he said after I introduced myself. God, it's been years. You wouldn't call unless it's serious. I laid it out, no emotion, just facts. My pension, the freeze, Linda, the branch, the young teller with no answers, the absent manager, the 48-hour policy. I heard his keyboard clicking on the other end. Stay put, he said. That holds a misapplied flag from a new software update. It was never meant to touch pensions. I'm 7 minutes away. Don't move. Then he hung up. I just sat there, unsure whether to feel hopeful or foolish. Was I really calling the CEO of a multinational bank over a teller issue? Had I lost my mind? But 7 minutes later, the bank's glass doors slid open like a scene from a film. Robert Caldwell strode in, suit sharp enough to slice through steel, jaw set, eyes scanning like he was hunting a target. He didn't hesitate, didn't nod. He moved through that lobby like he owned it because he did, and came straight to me. William, he said, shaking my hand. Good to see you, though I'm furious it's under these circumstances. He turned on his heel, not even glancing at the teller line before barking. Get your branch manager. Now. Ethan froze. Caldwell didn't wait. He marched to the manager's office like he knew the place by heart. MS. Carter, just back from lunch, looked like she'd seen a ghost. Caldwell's voice cut through the bank like a storm. MS. Carter, your office. Now. Bring Mr. Thompson's file. Within seconds, I was ushered inside, followed by Ethan, who looked like he might break down, and MS. Carter, pale as a sheet. Caldwell didn't sit. He stood like a general at a tribunal. MS. Carter, Tell me, he said, his voice slow and deliberate. This man is a decorated veteran. His federally disbursed pension was frozen due to a software glitch. He needed that money for his wife's critical medication. Instead of escalating, he was handed a pamphlet. Is that correct? MS. Carter tried to speak, stammered, then nodded. Your job, Caldwell snapped, is not to parrot policy. It's to serve especially veterans. Did either of you initiate a Directive 7 Alpha escalation? Ethan looked lost. You don't know what that is. Then you're undertrained, Caldwell growled. And you, he turned to MS. Carter, are under-supervising. This is an institutional failure of judgment and decency. He pulled out his phone and made a call. Lift the hold on account ending in 7392, effective immediately. I want a diagnostic on how this flag was triggered. Mark it priority. Call me back. Then he turned to me. Mr. Thompson, your account is accessible. MS. Carter will personally assist you. As an apology, your wife's medication today is on us. In fact, for the next 12 months, every copay she has is covered by me. I couldn't speak. I'd trained men for battle, seen life and death up close. But that moment being seen, being hard, it hit me hard. I just nodded. He wasn't done. He turned to Ethan and MS. Carter with a look that could peel paint. You'll both hear from HR and regional ops by end of day. Prepare for retraining. Prove you belong in customer-facing roles. This bank will not treat veterans like this again. Then he addressed the staff gathered near the door, his voice ringing clear. Our systems are tools, not substitutes for judgment. When they fail, we don't. Veterans will always come first. End of story. I went home with the meds and gave Linda her first dose right away. Her breathing steadied, and her eyes God. The way she looked at me, like I'd saved her all over again. Later that week, the bank rolled out a new veteran initiative, Real Changes, Real Training, a direct liaison. My phone rang a few times in the months that followed. Just check-ins from Robert Caldwell himself. He didn't have to, but he did. I never saw Ethan again. MS. Carter, I heard, got better at her job. Me? I kept living my quiet life, proud, respected, heard. Sometimes, it takes someone at the top to cut through the noise and say enough. Because behind every account is a person, and some of us we've earned more than please hold. So what do you think? Was justice served, or did Caldwell go too far? Should policy ever trump compassion? Let me know your take.